Are we in a crypto bear market? Hey, and welcome to Crypto World, a channel where all we do is talk about crypto. Quickly before we start, we'd like to tell you that this video is not financial advice and we are not financial advisors. So before investing any money, please do your own research. That being said, to the video. The recent trend in the cryptocurrency markets has been mostly down, but what does it mean? Are we actually in a bear market or just an adjustment after an unprecedented period of growth that saw most cryptocurrencies increase by over 1,000% in 2017? Bear markets can be scary for investors because it's hard to know when things will turn around. But at the same time, it's also good to let this recent pullback take its course and make sure that any new entrants into crypto markets are more sober about their investments. We'd rather take our time introducing newcomers to our space than having them buy high last December only to panic sell right away. The goal should instead be slow, steady growth without too many dramatic swings up or down following news from governments, central banks, or tech companies. Of course, the recent pullback has been hard on a lot of people, and it's only natural to look for someone to blame. In this case, several groups get pointed out as culprits: regulators, China, Wall Street, or the media. All of them have played a part, but not in the way that you might think. Let's examine these claims one by one. We keep hearing about how regulators are going after the crypto markets with stricter rules and enforcement actions. Some news outlets claim that this is bad for crypto, while others claim crypto was never meant to be regulated in the first place. So why do we need regulation now? In reality, these two claims can't both be true. Market regulators have a responsibility to serve and protect people who invest money in the capital markets, so they need to be able to regulate it effectively. The SEC was right when they said that most ICOs should be considered securities, even if some people didn't want to hear it at the time. Just last week, we saw yet another example of how regulation can help stabilize prices for cryptocurrencies, when Bitfinex paid back their customers who were affected by a hack of 120,000 bitcoins from 2016. This happened because Bitfinex was able to raise enough capital from new investors to pay back the remaining victims of the hack for 100% of their losses, with an additional 20% of their initial investments. This goes to show that having rules in place, even if it puts some limitations on what you can do, is good for markets. Without the SEC, there would be no Bitfinex hack insurance program, which means even more users are at risk of losing all their Bitcoin holdings. Another claim that gets made about crypto markets is that they are mostly driven by speculation instead of real use cases for blockchain technology. This is likely true, but only partially because most investment money comes into crypto funds' research and development initiatives for projects in this space. For example, Bloomberg released a report last week showing how money raised through ICOs has largely been put towards R&D, while some other projects have created communities for their users and investors. The Bloomberg report highlights that even though money is being raised in ICOs, the number of people using the network has not risen proportionally with all that new funding. This means that most projects are still early in their development cycle, and consumer education will become increasingly important when it comes to growing communities for blockchain projects. That in turn will put even more pressure on regulators to make sure they can keep up and not stifle legitimate innovation in this space. The last claim we hear a lot about cryptocurrency markets these days is how China isn't playing nice because they want to ban all crypto trading there. This is true, but only half of the story, because they've never intended to stop blockchain innovation altogether, just focus on specific parts of the ecosystem. China isn't interested in stopping people from trading cryptocurrency because they think it is a passing fad. Instead, they're banning exchanges and other parts of the industry because that's where the majority of scams and fraud has been taking place. This goes back to our claim that regulation can help improve markets, and since we still believe that blockchain technology is important for the future, we want to see good actors take their rightful place in this space. The fact that exchanges played such an integral part in crypto markets last year means more scrutiny than ever, so any bad practices will quickly be exposed by regulators or users themselves. So next time you hear someone complaining about how government regulations are hurting crypto, just remember, most governments have already realized that blockchain technology is important to the future, so they're trying to find ways to protect their citizens while allowing innovation. This means more opportunities for companies in this space, but it also means any bad actors will be exposed more easily, so they have no choice but to play by the rules if they want to succeed. The price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies may not like government oversight and regulation, but we believe these new rules could ultimately create a better market for everyone involved. Moreover, the counter Bitcoin trading happening globally. This is largely due to countries like Japan and South Korea, where they simply can't get enough of cryptocurrency right now, and the COTC is a way to bypass local exchanging fees and capital controls with their national flat currency. This doesn't mean we'll stop seeing regular exchanges grow though, especially because the vast majority of money still comes from investors instead of consumers who want to use cryptocurrencies for everyday purchases. We also need to remember that even though China is shutting down digital currency exchanges, It's trying to find ways to protect its citizens through regulations so they don't miss out on blockchain technology altogether. China is working with Russia right now to create an ersatz version of Libra that they can control and use as a way to put more money in their pockets. If you haven't already, click here to read our coverage on China trying to mimic Libra as a way of putting national interest first. So to answer your question, are we in a bear market or not? Well, we are. Just in a very tricky place to answer that question. But if you look at the technicalities, you can see there is money moving around even though Bitcoin isn't making new highs every day right now. That's why we're not calling this market anything yet. Instead, it is simply stagnating as all markets tend to do when they aren't trending or ranging. Here's our official stance on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies at the moment. We don't know what will happen next, but given how chaotic things have been, especially for Bitcoin lately, we can say unequivocally that volatility isn't over yet. The only thing we're certain of at the moment is that most people are still bearish, so any sudden movements upward could create an epic short squeeze somewhere down the line. This is where we simply don't know what will happen next, and that's why we advocate trading using risk management and position sizing instead of trying to guess tops and bottoms, which rarely works anyway. We also believe investors can be successful even in a bull market if they spread their money across various cryptocurrencies, because the rise all coin strategy has historically worked much better than people realize. This way you don't have to worry about what coin will moon tomorrow and instead just focus on buying and holding the best projects in this space until they go mainstream. For example, we think Stellar Lumens, or XLM, is a sleeping giant that will be valued alongside BTC before we know it, so we continue to hold XLM despite how bearish XRP has been lately. In the meantime, we will simply continue sharing information with you about how to trade, do research, and manage risk as situations like this create great opportunities. Our goal here at Crypto World is to become your trusted source of crypto signals so that you can make money even when the market isn't moving much, or moving a lot. We won't mislead you into thinking there aren't better days ahead though, because we honestly believe cryptocurrencies are here to stay, and we plan on making a lot of money over the coming years by getting in while the getting's still good. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video, and we'll see you on our next. Until then, have a good day.